G'day guys, and welcome to another travel adventure series. Now this time we're heading off to the Goldfields, and plan A is tomorrow we head off up Tonkin Highway, up road to Midland, then up Greenmount Hill, and then we'll be following the Great Eastern Highway out to Kalgoorlie. From Kalgoorlie we head north, and we hope this time to make it to Walloona. Didn't quite get there on our last Goldfields trip, and the last time I went to the Goldfields, unfortunately, I spent most of my time taking still shots. Really wasn't so much into video back then, so on this trip we're going to try and rectify that and take a lot of footage of all the different places we can find along the way, plus a lot of towns that we don't have any video footage for. So yeah, we're just about there. This is the evening now. We've got everything pretty well packed, just the last few bits and pieces to throw in the morning, and we'll be off. We're in the coaster. Weather looking a little bit wettish to start off with, but we can cope with that in here. So hopefully the weather will be fine enough not to affect our filming schedule too much, because we've got a lot to film on this trip. I'm expecting to be out for a couple of weeks, give or take a few days, and yeah, we'll see how much we can find that's interesting to film for you. So follow us along, see what we get up to on this trip. Hope that this old girl, 30 plus years old now, behaves herself. She's been pretty good the last couple of trips, so we're hoping it's going to be 3 in a row. So the next time you see me, we should be well on our way over the hills and possibly past Northam somewhere. I think probably our first stop tomorrow will be Meckering, and we'll see what we decide to do from there. We could go on to Cunderdin and then Tammin. There's a good little rest stop out at Tammin at the sports ground there, an overnighter. So that is roughly the idea for tomorrow anyway. But you're about to see it, because by the time I get back and get this all edited up, it'll all be done and ready to go. So at the moment I don't even know myself where we're going to end up tomorrow. Let's go and see. Okay, let's get going. Okay, we're up and into the hills now. We're at Clackline. We are just stopping here for a cup of coffee, have a bit of a break from driving. It's easy enough to drive through traffic with a car, but one of these old things clattering along tends to be a little bit more tiring, so we take our time. This is a little lion's rest area at Clackline. Quite a nice little stop. A bit noisy because it's right next to the highway, but still. It's got toilets here, shelters, barbecues, and a nice little chance to get out and stretch our legs a bit too. As you can see, there's shelter and barbecue there, and they have a little section of the Goldfields pipeline to show people, although probably unnecessary to have that sitting there, because just over to this side we have the real thing. And of course that's the scheme that enabled Kalgoorlie to develop in the early 1900s. C.Y. O'Connor, the chief engineer looking after that, who was driven to suicide by evil scumbags in the media. Brilliant man, what a waste. He could have done so much more for the state. And this is our lunch stop. This is a little tiny place a little bit east of Northam called Grass Valley. I think it deserves the name hamlet rather than town, I guess. It's very, very small, and it has a tavern and a hall and a few houses. Not a lot else. But quite a pleasant little spot to sit and have lunch. There is a toilet available. Pretty clean, tidy. So a useful spot to stop in and have lunch if you're heading along the Great Eastern and you're just looking for somewhere to pull off and relax for half an hour or so. If you've got kiddies on board, and there's a little playground next to the hall, so you can let them run around and get off some steam. And this is our first point of interest, which is the army camp just outside of Northam. This is, I don't know quite what this dates to. I'm assuming something like World War II vintage. Now it says all visitors must report to the office. I'm not quite sure where that is at this stage, so we'll wander in and have a look. Unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be anybody around, and it says all visitors must report to the office, which apparently is over to my right here. Nothing to indicate that it's okay to wander around, so I won't. The place is still Commonwealth land, Defence Force, blah blah blah. So unfortunately the email I sent went unanswered. So there's not much chance of me really having a good look around here. We'll try and get back here another time. It would have been really interesting to be able to go in there and have a good look around, but don't want to get ourselves in trouble. Okay, we got some signage here. Alright, there's a lot to read on there, so I'll just take a picky of that and might have a talk about that a bit later on. There is an overnight RV rest area in Meckering near a little park where you will find toilets and picnic facilities. Just across the road is the general store. It was really sad to see that Colton's store had closed down. We were actually in town on the day they opened, and the empty shop was quite a sad sight for us. One attraction you should try and have a look at while you're in town is the big camera and its huge collection of cameras. I've never seen so many cameras together in one place before in my life. Meckering was made famous by an earthquake that happened close to town in 1968. It was magnitude 6.9 and did severe damage to many buildings, including the local hotel, the hall and the post office, all of which had to be demolished. Considering the damage, it was very lucky that nobody died, and only 20 people were injured. We did consider stopping at Meckering overnight, but the rest area was just a bit too close to the highway for us, and a bit too noisy, so we continued east, passing through the town of Cunderdin before making our way on to Tammin. That's where we'll pick up our travels in the next video.